because I am losing daylight and I don't want to set up the lights for this one. So we're going to get right into it. And I talk about this all the time, so perhaps it's good for me to just get it out of my system, make this video, and move on. So in this video, we're talking about how the church has betrayed the original message and purpose of Christ. Children of the Most High in a dark age often end up being the elite, the secret elite, the hidden elite, the true elite. But we're moving into a golden age, an age of light, an age of creative imagination, an age of clarity, of illumination, of enlightenment, of intelligence, of logic, of reason, true logic and true reason. Meaning, I can discuss an idea, and just by the nature of what I am discussing, it will be apparent to those listeners whether or not this idea is sound. And they will be able to ask proper questions or inquire, and I will be able to provide an apology or an explanation of my perspective. And so in this video, I want to talk about the problem with the church. The church has actually presented Jesus Christ as a psychopath. God's will is something to be avoided. And you know that because when you say, oh, if it be your will, Lord, and then you ask for something that you want, you say, well, I hope it's God's will. God's will is that you prosper, that you have life abundant. Well, that was James, Paul talking to the epistle of James. But basically, prosperity, joy, peace, power, pleasure, purpose, productivity, purity, and power, these things are what God intends for us. And every single functioning human that's not a dead robot or a scenery person wants these things as well. And so God's will aligns with your desire, and your desire automatically aligns with God's will. But there are a lot of churches that teach contrary to that. And as a matter of fact, the church as a whole teaches contrary to that. And now, if you are pursuing geopolitical Christianity, I highly recommend, if you are to be a religious Christian, to go Orthodox Christianity or Catholic. The Protestants, anything below Catholic is going to be apostate in many ways, because the lower churches took a lot of ideas and just went with them. They were like, well, this is our idea, and so everybody else needs to do it in order to get into heaven. And that's why the Protestant branches of Christianity have no function. They have no value. All right. So this video we'll be talking about how the church has betrayed the original message of Christ, and also really going to start off with the message of Christ is thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. It's as old as humanity. So it's probably tens or hundreds of thousands of years old. It's not a new message. It's not like, oops, by the way, Jesus has got to fix something that got fucked up like 2,000 years before Jesus showed up. No, it's always been the same. It's never changed. And you can look in reality. It's like an apex predator. An apex predator is not going to be consulting a mouse on how to hunt, right? And that's what the church has done. The church has gone to losers, demoniacs, tiny little worthless people and said, tell us how to run our thing. And then the church says, okay, we're going to change it because some people are offended by how we do things. And so the church has really failed the message of Christ, and it has caused Christianity to be seen as an inferior faith, as an inferior path, which for most mainstream Christians, it's an inferior path. If you're a Christian and you're suffering in brokenness or things like that, I mean, it's one thing to be broke and to be okay with it because you know you're going to be rich. But to be suffering in this life is bullshit. It's stupid. All right, let's get in the chat. We got Gabriel Garrett. Welcome, welcome. Crown Raider. Can I be mod, please? Oh, moderator. No. Okay, I get what that is. A lot of people ask for that. No. Jarrett Visdas Butterest. Hi. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Mix993. Hi, welcome. And Bainies Zimmerman. Welcome, welcome. Amen. Modern. Oh, yeah, modern. Okay. So the church has betrayed the message of Christ. And if you have a functioning brain and you go to church and they tell you something like, okay, well, the only way you can get to heaven, to get to God, is you got to stop doing the things you love to do that light your soul up. Walk out of that church immediately. Now, it doesn't light your soul up to abuse people or to kill or hurt people. That doesn't light your soul up. But it may light your soul up to, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something the church looks down upon. Um, to do dark comedy. That may light your soul up. You may love doing dark comedy where you use a lot of profanity. The church generally will look down upon that. All right. So there are things that you do that if you go to certain churches, then maybe you're a pork chef and you want to be an Adventist. You love making pork. I think it's disgusting. Pork is disgusting, but that church would say that you're not gonna, you're gonna have some problems with God because of that. And so the church has come up with a lot of moralistic traditions and customs that get in the way of human joy, human expression. Joy does not come from violating the laws of God, point blank. But there are things that the church has decided are laws of God that are not laws of God. Okay? So church has made Jesus a psychopath and has made God's law something you want to avoid. And you just naturally do. All right. Stop loving. Yeah. All right. And then Jerry, Benny Zimmerman said, yeah, John 1. Kirk says John 1. All right. Jerry's Jerry's it. All right. Then Barney Zimmerman says, stop loving. Yeah, that's one of the things. Yep. Yeah. All right, Jerry, uh, the Menace. Okay, I get it. Jerry the Menace. What? All right. Let's see. Bainey says it's gay. Quaker state. Laws of law. Isla. Okay. So yeah, the Quakers had some weird kind of laws. That's why there aren't many Quakers. Now look, all of these paths are individual. Like you can be a Quaker, you can be an Adventist, you can be some other Protestant or Mormon or something like that, or a Jehovah's Witness. You can be that. There's nothing wrong with that. You can still be a geopolitical Christian and practice those paths. But the thing I want to really get at is in a lot of the church they have these norms or expectations that just don't align with the law of God. And the law of God is something that every single human being with a functioning brain, by the way. Some people have fucked up brains, so there's nothing you can do for them. But for functioning individuals that have functioning brains, um, they can look at life and they can discern the law of God. Like it doesn't require a priest or an apostle or somebody to like tell you, fire is hot. Well, you get close to it, you can tell that it's hot. It's part of the law of God, right? Um, when you see a bear in the woods, part of the law of God is don't go up and cuddle with it because it's going to rip you to shreds, right? These are things that can't be ignored, and people that ignore them, they suffer the consequences of that. So the churches teach that prayer is getting on your knees and filleting some sort of sicko, like sadistic sky phantom, right? And the Bible teaches you opposite, right? So anyway, I'm just kind of trying to destroy a lot of the kind of basic ideas of the church. I'm going through old notes here, so pardon me if I'm like reading them like, I'm not gonna say that. All right, so we got some thing here. Elephant and Glorilla. Yeah, I don't know who Elephant is, but Glorilla, and it's there's the level of depravity in that community and that cultural enclave is indication of kind of how far we've fallen as a species. Jesus is the way, life, and truth. Yep, Kirk, you got it. All right. So the church ignores the true power that we have, right? Yeah. And then when they see true power, your ability to enact miracles, to become prosperous, to be powerful and purposeful in the world, they call it Satan, right? And Jesus was referred to as Satan, unfortunately, in Matthew 12, 22 through 32, and in Luke 11, 14 through 23, because Christ was driving out demons, the demon of poverty, the demon of stupidity, the demon of social inadequacy. All these things are demons, right? And in the geopolitical Christian church, they're considered uh, cardinal sins, like they're considered um, carnal sins. So scarcity, suffering, struggles, stupidity, savageries, superstition, all these are cardinal sins, and they're demonic, right? Sexual depravity, and so slavery. God can drive those out, and when God drives those out, the church says, "Oh, they did it by Satan." The church has been saying that forever because the organization wants you to be obeisant to the organization and not obeisant to the creator of the universe. When you're under the power of the creator of the universe, you can be an Elon Musk, you can be a Donald Trump, you can be, dare I say, you could even be a Glorilla. I'm not a big fan of of that kind of lifestyle and beingness. But if that person is improving her community and her culture and her people, then that is something that God would approve of. And it'd be obvious because you would see improvements. Now, obviously, that's not the case, but I'm just giving you an extreme example to demonstrate what I'm trying to say here. Okay? All right? So Christ taught us the real power, access to the real power is through confidence, through clarity, through focus, through flow, and through clarity. So let's jump back in the chat. Okay, Jesus is the way. It's my birthday. Emily is the best. Aww. How old are you, Emily? It sounds like you're a little one because Emily is the best. You sound adorable just by your name. And that's a good name, by the way. Good job on that name. And I mean that sincerely. This is the type. Emily is the type in our chat here. Emily is the best. Emily is the type of person who's already accepted her apex nature. She is referring to herself as the best. If this is Emily, and if you really feel that you're the best. And Emily, I say congratulations to you. I say happy birthday to you, fellow Aquarian. And you are the best because you have proclaimed that. So you are the best. Keep it up, young lady. I think you're a little one, though, with that name. I think you're like a 12-year-old or something. How old are you? Jesus is king. Scott said it. All right, Jesus is king. Jesus is king. So make sure that you don't let the church become a barrier between you and Jesus. Jesus taught us how to pray. And of course, the church put it in two different parts of the Bible. So I'm going to tell you the part of the Bible that where it matters. The Lord's Prayer is good, but if you're broke, you don't have any, well, it kind of addresses that, but it's really Mark 11, verse 22 through 26. That's where you want to learn how to pray. That's where Jesus showed us how to really pray. All right, Mark 11, 22 through 26. Ignore just about anything else when it comes to prayer. Focus on that and you'll get everything you desire. All right, geopolitical Christianity is Christianity. We are the Christians renewed. We are Christianity redefined, renewed, and restored. We are living evidence of the power of Christ because of the power we are able to wield in this reality. Geopolitical Christianity and apex humanity is about intelligence, optimal intelligence, is about harmonious independence, meaning we can live our own lives, freedom of speech, Second Amendment rights, all that stuff that's in our Constitution as United States Americans, but it's the ability to live your life. You don't need to go to a pastor or a preacher to tell. By the way, you don't even need to pray to Jesus. I like Jesus. I love Jesus. I do not pray to Jesus. I've decided not to pray to Jesus anymore because Jesus did his job and he did it well, and I listen to that and I respect that. So I pray directly to God the Father. All these Christians that pray to Jesus, they are idolaters. Okay, and it's okay to pray to Jesus if Jesus actually helps you. I don't mean to denigrate Jesus, but Jesus said, "I've given you a direct link to the Creator of the universe. Peace," and he went to heaven. He said, you can talk to God directly. You don't really need to pray to me. All right? They called him good master. Jesus said, listen, don't call anybody good but God. Jesus said that. So if Jesus is the greatest, you got to act like it as a Christian. All right? Geopolitical Christians have clarity of purpose. We know where we're going. We know what we want to do. And we know why we are here. Like Emily said, Emily is the best. Emily has clarity onto what she is. And if she really believes she's the best, she's a daughter of the Most High. Okay? We progress as geopolitical Christians with divine harmony. We move forward with divine harmony. We're truly progressive, not in the psychotic woke way, which is a path that leads to death and destruction and mutilation of children and the abominable acts, but to progress, true progress, a golden age. Okay? Also, as geopolitical Christians, we release ourselves from moralism because we know that moralism keeps us in the dark ages. All right, going through here. All right. So another thing to understand with the church has created false dichotomies, such as progressives versus traditionalists. But in reality, and I should take away that word progressive, what I mean is the woke mob. The woke mob is the exact same thing as the alt-right or the moralists or the traditionalists. They're the same people. They're people that don't want you to use your own brain. They don't want you to be intelligent. They want you to think the way they tell you to think and nothing else. Okay? So we've got to, geopolitical Christianity helps to solve that. Okay? Pardon me, I'm going to have to put on the lights. because we're losing light. The sun is setting. Yeah, I'm really just kind of putting out a video, just kind of going off. Not going off per se, but just kind of like saying, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna put out a video because I like to put out a video daily, and this helps me to do it. Okay. So if you're in the chat, just holler, whatever. If you're a Christian and you believe that the world is soon to be dominated by Christians, drop a like, say something in the chat, and if you're a non-Christian but you do think that Christianity has some validity, drop a like in the chat.
Right. That is
All right. All right. Okay. Mm. Also, another thing about Jesus that's really great is that Jesus said those who have eyes to see and ears to hear would understand him. He didn't say those who can read the law and the testimonies or the prophets, or he didn't say that. He said he came to fulfill the law, but he was a very practical and intelligent individual, one of the most intelligent. He couldn't buy into the Sanhedrin or into the lies of the Pharisees or the Sadducees. He could never see those worms as of any consequence, because that's what they were. And unfortunately, that's what the church is right now, is it's kind of run by worms, right? I mean, that lady that did that thing at the Trump inauguration, that lady, she was a priest or some crap like that. It's like, please have mercy on trans children. There's no such thing as a trans child, guys. I mean, geopolitical Christians understand that. But again, if you have eyes that function and ears that function, you'll see that. And Jesus is really talking about if you have the intelligence necessary to wake up every morning and breathe. Like, infants, toddlers, newborns have enough intelligence to ascertain their relationship with God. Unfortunately, toddlers and newborns, infants, don't have the physical mobility. They don't know how to use their mouths. Their brains function very well. Like, infants are extremely intelligent. So are toddlers and newborns. They're smarter than most people that you'll meet walking the street every day. But what happens is between being a newborn, a child, a toddler, and becoming a functioning kind of a human or whatever, is that you get indoctrinated. They put all these codes, and I must sound like an idiot here, but if you're intelligent enough, you know what I'm saying. You're basically conditioned. You're given patterns of thought, which are codes, to navigate reality, navigate the world in a fucked up, stupid way. And so a little 2-year-old will look and say, that man's a danger. He's a predator. And their parents will say, be nice, Sally. And what happens is they're like, well, I know, my body knows that's a dangerous person. But the parents are saying, I need to be nice. And so what happens is little Sally, who comes from generations of losers, now is a loser, because she's going to now put herself in the position to be abused or hurt or something like that, because her parents don't want to look like mean people and they want her to be polite and respectful, which all children should be. But they're not protecting her and allowing her to develop her skill of intuition. And so that happens to every single person that's born in this world. And if you have parents that actually are functioning apex humans, you'll be like a Barron Trump, or like J.D. Vance's children, or somebody like that. You'll be one of these kids that's going to grow and become successful. You're not going to grow up like Will Smith's kids, where they're all fucked up, right? God bless them, but they are fucked, right? And you can just tell, look at how unhappy they look. They just look perpetually like something's wrong with them. Like, I don't care about them, but I'm saying I don't hate them or anything. I'm saying that's not what we want our youth to look like. You know, singing these crybaby songs. Wait a minute, that song. Like, I hate that song. It's on all the fucking shorts. It's disgusting. Again, yeah. So that's just what you have when you have that kind of thinking. But that comes from being a child of the Most High, coming into this life as a functioning human, and then being indoctrinated and programmed to think ineffectively. And so that's why Jesus said, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, you're going to pick up on this. You're going to pick up on what I'm putting down. And so you don't have to be a scholar. You don't have to be an intellectual. And as a matter of fact, if you're a scholar or an intellectual, you're probably more of a problem for humanity than anything else. And I can say that as a doctorate, doctoral, not a, yeah, I have a doctorate. Okay. Um, you know, intellectuals are taught to follow a certain way of thinking and not think outside of the box. Unfortunately, it's the mass majority of us. Unless you go to really, really high level institutions like some of the most secretive portions of like Stanford or Harvard or something like that. As most intellectuals, you're taught to just be a dumb worm. And I faced that when I said, "Hey, Donald Trump, I think is an exceptional, inspiring presence," and they wanted to give me a C in a class for saying that. And of course, I took it up the line and I got a higher grade because the lady that was doing it was like a bald-headed feminist, and she just hated me because I didn't say I'm a victim. I've been oppressed. No, I've never been oppressed. I've never experienced racism. I've always been good, right? So, like I said, Jesus said, if you have functioning brain, everything I say will make sense to you. And then the church came in, took what he said, and fucked it up. So, geopolitical Christianity is about redefining, restoring, and renewing Christ's message because the church has totally betrayed that. All right. So, yeah. Geopolitical Christianity. Yeah. Moralists are blind and they cannot hear. And like Jesus said, if you're that way, man, hey, enjoy the hellfire. Hellfire is not like what we're gonna go after you die. Everybody goes after this life. You always go. Everybody goes back to the Father. We all go back to heaven. All right. But for a little while, the moralists experience hell because they masturbated or because they were Jew and they ate pork secretly, or they're Muslim and ate goddamn bacon, and they're gonna go to hell for like I don't know, however long their mind or spirit can stand that, and eventually they're gonna go, oh, that's stupid, and they're just gonna go to heaven. So don't worry about going to heaven, even if you're a mainstream religionist moralist. And you've been brainwashed into believing that God hates you because He created you the way that you are, and you're living the way that He created you. Well, then, yeah, you'll just experience hell for long enough for you to wake the fuck up, and then you'll go to heaven. It happens to everybody. I've done it a million times. All right. Geopolitical Christianity and Apex Human Awakening is we are the ones that are pushing the Golden Age Awakening. I mean, we're not like making it happen. God is doing it, but we are at the very leading edge. Okay. And until humanity is ready to take the reins, we're going to be the ones kind of at the forefront. We're going to be the ones putting out these YouTube videos and forming organizations and being at the head of the human story, like Donald Trump and Elon Musk and these sorts of people. These are Tulsi Gabbard. Like these are apex humans. They're geopolitical Christians. They can be Hindu. They can be whatever they want to be, but they're at the forefront of the story. And so once humanity wakes up, takes the reins, gets on the thing, then we're gonna go back home. We're gonna leave this world. We're gonna be done with this whole thing because we don't need to be here in this dense world. We need to go back to our source. All right, and then kind of review how we helped humanity to wake the fuck up, and then perhaps be more effective or more efficient in the future. It's a game for us. For you guys, this is real life. Like it's life and death. But for us, it's just a game. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna help humanity reach the golden age, and then we're gonna go home. Uh, and I know for a lot of people that seems whatever, but it is what it is. So our job is to basically get humanity up to speed, increase the number of elites, true elites, not fake elites, the people that like think they're elite because they have a lot of money or they know the famous people. Those are not elites. Elites are people who have been tried through the fire and they are resilient. They have the ability to get through this thing and to do so with a smile on their face and a song in their heart and to really kick ass, to create a world that works. That's what we're here to do. All right. Speed up, increase the number of elites, and put them. And we're putting these people in positions of power. And I'm saying we just because I'm part of the team. I'm not the one putting people in power. Okay. I'm not the one doing that, but I'm part of that team. And I have my own job. I have my own job. I have my own purpose, and I'm doing that now. But we are here to put those sorts of people in positions of power. The elite, the true elites. One of the early apex human geopolitical Christian types was Angelus Solomon. He was a Muslim, and he was the one that helped the Freemasons to become the ruling elite in the United States. Everybody's like, oh, the Masons, they're evil. No, 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 no. They came here and helped to form this nation. He was a good friend of George Washington, and all these other people were supposedly racist. They were not racist. They were just intelligent people. And Angelus Solomon he was friends with Anton von Mesmer, or yeah, Franz Anton Mesmer, um, Mozart, all of these guys. Like, these are world changing people. They were all friends. They were fratres within the Mason the within the Masons, the Freemasons, and they helped. Angelo Solomon helped to turn the Freemasons into an intellectual society ruling group of people, not just a secretive brotherhood. And so he was one of our earlier kind of people. He came here. He ended up working for the Royal Austrian, the Royal House in Austria, and he was Cameroonian, and he was an exceptional Marian, and he helped to make the West what it is. If it weren't for the Freemasons and the Rosicrucians and others like that, the United States wouldn't be what it is. And so we helped to form organizations like that. When those organizations went to shit, they just stopped being influential and stopped having any relevance. And then we kind of changed our place. Like, we moved around. We're a very malleable group of individuals. Okay. So we're putting elites in power, and they're already in power. Like Donald Trump, we helped put him in power. And yeah, they're going to take over those positions and help to drive this movement that's happening. All right. Yeah, and once everything is accomplished, we're done and we get out of here. All right. Well, in the next video, I might talk about the Golden Age Awakening schedule. It sounds crazy, but there is a schedule of events that are supposed to happen, and I don't want to draw too much attention, so maybe I won't put that video out. All right, that subject is done. I've got to do the last couple parts of it. Okay, there's no one here, so I'll just do it. All right, because I want to get these out of the way. All right. I think I covered everything on that one. Okay. Now, if you decide to become a geopolitical Christian by name, because the organization will make itself public soon, so if you really find this interesting, you find it useful, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment below, subscribe only if this has value to you, and make sure you visit www.apexhumanity.org. There, you get a better breakdown of what the Geopolitical Christian Church is about, how we are redefining, renewing, and restoring Christ's message, and taking over. We do have a schedule, so we're not like a church that's, we're going to be here until Jesus comes back. No, we have a deadline we have to meet, and once we do that, everything will just be dissolved, and it'll be as if we never existed. We may even be forgotten completely, which is preferable, right? Because humanity will be in an evolved state. It'll be able to function on its own. Like, right now, the human story does not work. It works for a few people, like the people at the top. That's the human life. Like, if you're at the very top, like the life that Donald Trump lives, that's a human life. The life of Elon Musk, Barron Trump, Melania Trump, Ivanka Trump, of course the Trump family. Okay, I'm going to leave them out. Let's talk about someone else. Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek Ramaswamy. These people are living the geopolitical crisis because they're actually doing something to have an impact on the world that they want to have. And dare I say, even the Obamas and people like that, Barack Obama, they are living the apex human story because they are having the impact that they want to have. I don't know if he's still having the impact he wants to have, but when you choose an apex human lifestyle, there are consequences with that. Okay, there are risks to being an apex human. There are risks to being a geopolitical Christian. So today we're going to talk about that as well. We'll get right into it. So if you have an apex mindset or a geopolitical Christian leaning, you tend to be one that breaks convention. You don't do things the way that the worms are kind of conditioned to do things. An apex human is born. You're not converted, and you're not convinced to be a geopolitical Christian or apex human. You're not. You can never convince someone to be something. It's like you can't go to a mouse and say, okay, so this is how you grow a mane. This is how you grow fangs. You can't do that. There's nothing in the mouse that allows them to be that way. Apex humans are born. That means you went through the indoctrination process. You went through the process of being lied to and told all these fantasies and stupid stories, and you made it through. And you're like, yeah, okay, the church is full of shit, but there's something here that is valuable to me, and so I'll stay a Christian. Or you said, just society is stupid, but I'm not gonna like leave society. The monetary system within society serves my purposes and helps me to do what I want to do in life. And so those of you who are apex humans or geopolitical Christians, you can never be converted to this path. What I share here is not something that's going to be like, oh, I never thought of that. I mean, you may have that kind of, epiphany by hearing what I'm sharing here, but it's not going to be so foreign to you. It's going to be like, I haven't heard that anywhere else before, and it makes so much fucking sense, right? That's what that's because you're an apex human. You're already born with the neurology and the spiritual maturity to click onto this. And what I'm sharing here is not, um, it's not like, oh, it's so profound. I'm just sharing something that's obvious. I'm sharing stuff that's obvious. I'm not sharing anything that's like, oh, wow, it's so novel. Ooh, oh, well, he's a genius. No, I'm not. Well, I am a genius, but I'm not a fucking like new. I'm not sharing anything new. What I'm sharing here is something that just fucking makes sense. Oh, well, like I said, there are a lot of ideas in the church that don't fucking make any sense, man. Anyway. Oh, you're going to go to hell because you sinned. No. Sinning creates hell here for you. Nobody goes to hell ever. That's one of the biggest stupid things in the church. And then the Adventist church is even more stupid. Oh, when you die, nothing happens and you just sleep for eternity. What? That's stupid. Okay? Anyway, getting back to it. So, as an apex human, a geopolitical Christian, you have the intelligence to choose wisely. You're going to hear some of the things that say, okay, that's bullshit, doesn't align for me, and you just ignore it, go on to the next thing, right? There are consequences, though, to being an AP. I'm just going to call it GPC, right? It's like when you decide to no longer pretend to be a worm. By the way, if you hear this makes sense, drop a like. But if you are an apex human, that means you're like an apex predator. You can no longer pretend to be a mouse or a worm or a slug or a grub, right? You cannot pretend to be a groveling, dirt-dwelling creature. Now you have to be like Emily the Best. You have to call yourself the best, right? You have to, in your mind, you don't tell all these worms that because they're gonna try and rip you to shreds. But you've got to start saying, okay, I'm exceptional. I am a fucking lion. And what comes with being a lion? Lion, you have a taste for blood. All life they've been feeding you grass, telling you it's good to eat grass. Your mane is falling out, your claws are falling out, your teeth are malfunctioning, right? You have headaches all the fucking time, and all your time you're hungry. Well, keep eating the grass. Well, that's what the church teaches. That's what society teaches, right? But your mind, your spirit, and there's a lot of good things in church and society, obviously, duh, right? But I'm talking about the things that get in the way of you doing your job here. As a lion or a tiger or a bear or whatever kind of apex predator you are, you have certain consequences that come with being the top of the food chain, intellectually, spiritually, right? And when I say intellectually, look, I have a doctor, like I said, that's stupid. Doesn't matter. It's just a piece of paper. I convinced a bunch of people that I was able to go along with their stupid fucking ideas and just, whatever. And I went through hell for it, but I fucking got through it, right? So, but what I'm saying is the intelligence. That means that you can hear something that is truly bullshit and be like, yeah, that's bullshit. Just ignore it and move on with your life. Or you can say, this is an intelligent idea, but guess what? Out of 1,000 people, only one person's going to follow through on it. Why do you think out of 1,000,000 people, only like one person is rich, truly rich, not has $1,000,000 or $100 million? That's not rich. They have a healthy life. They have good relationships. They have a healthy body. They have lots of money to buy all the things they want to buy and do all the things they want to do and have the influence they want to have, right? So when you're that kind of a person, an apex human, a geopolitical Christian, and you choose the lion life or the apex life or the tiger life, there are consequences that come with that. As a lion, you stand out. You can't hide in the dirt. You can't grovel in the dirt and hide from predators like that. You're the top of the mountain, so you're gonna stand out. You gotta fight other lions. You're gonna run the risk of other lions wanting to eat your children. And you're also gonna have to fight and kill your prey. And I'm using an analogy here. You get the application, right? You get it. Tiger's the same way. As a lion or a tiger, there's certain lifestyle things that you're not going to be able to have. A tiger only is going to breed a couple of times, once a year or whatever, right? And you're going to live alone. You're going to be by yourself. You're not going to fuck every single moment like a bunny, right? So there's certain things that come with being an apex human that's going to be very uncomfortable if you still identify as a worm or as a rabbit, or meaning Yeah, we'll call it lower. I hate to use the word lower. English is such an insufficient language, but as a hmm, as a less powerful being, how about that? Right? So, at the end of the day, there are consequences that come with being an apex human. Your thought patterns are going to be authentic. You're going to be a rule breaker because you know that rules are stupid and they change from day to day. You may live in a town where it's illegal to pet a duck on Sunday. Like those rules actually exist. Look them up. And so if you love ducks and you have a duck farm and there's a rule that says you can't pet a duck on Sunday, no, fuck it, that's a stupid rule. You're gonna pet your ducks on Sunday. Fuck the law, right? Fuck the rules. It's not the law. And by the way, all the legislation, all that stuff, those are just rules because you can break every single one of them and be fine. I'm not saying to do it, right? But you can do it. Like, don't speed. Well, everybody speeds. That's not a law. Law is gravity exists or fire burns things that don't have resilience to it. Like, those are laws, right? All right. As a apex human, I'm obviously going to have exceptional intelligence. And intelligence, again, is not having a doctorate, even though I mentioned I have a doctorate. It's not having advanced degrees. It's not being considered a great coder or something like that. Computer scientist. No, that's not intelligence at all. All right. You can teach a monkey to do computer science. And I don't mean that. You know what I mean. But what it means is you're able to distinguish the illusion from the truth. And you're able to utilize the illusion to your benefit. Okay. And even if it's at the disadvantage of worms, then that's just their identity. They just have to deal with being a worm. That's the consequence of being a worm. All right. You're autonomous and you have agency. You do not have victimhood. You've never been victimized, even if you've experienced negative things at the hands of other people. All right. Also, you're individualistic. It means you can stand on your own 2 feet as a man or a woman, child of God. You got the creative source behind you. You don't give a fuck about the worm. All right. And so, why is the geopolitical Christianity and the apex human journey so important? I talked about it earlier. It's a framework for molding us. Yeah, yeah. So it's the framework for molding influential people and influential people who've come from the dirt and have risen up through it. Okay, so uh, right now you have an elite class of people that you have an elite class of people. I'm not going to call them elite. I'm going to say influential class, like the celebrities and stuff like that. They're not thinkers. There are organizations that we put into place, right, that are putting these people in place. And we're back now. We're in the world. We're engaging the human story, and we're saying, okay, these organizations. We established the church. We established the social institutions. Like Andrew Solomon, I'm part of that community of people. Um, we helped to put the Freemasons and the Illuminati and all those kind of. I hate that. I hate that word because it's like I know who they really were, and it's so annoying. It's so annoying because there's so many conspiracy-minded people, stupid people that think they've gotten onto something, and they're out there like, oh yeah, the Illuminati, and they're gonna get you. No, no, the Illuminati was a good thing. We put that in power, and now we gotta like redo it. So, and again, when I say we, I'm part of an organization, a group of individuals that has a long tradition. Like we go back a long time. And so I just happen to be fortunate enough to be included in this and be a part of this group of people. So we put people into influence. We put them into power and we are redesigning the elite. We're redesigning them. The real elite are coming into power. Donald Trump, true elite. He's an exceptional mind, has an exceptional influence, and look at how he destroyed what we know to be politics. He totally has rewritten that. Okay? Elon Musk, he's a guy that wrote PayPal. He's a computer guy. And then he got into the car industry, or coding for cars, basically, designing the Tesla cars, which I think are shit cars, but whatever. Um, anyway, he did it. He did exceptional things. And then he got into space industry and that's what I'm talking about. Those are apex humans. And God is putting them in place, and we're part of that process. It's really God that's doing it, but what I'm saying is we're part of that. And if you want to be a part of that, this is going to open up soon. So you're going to be able to like, you're already a part of it, but you're going to be able to like officially be a part soon. Okay. So we're helping to get the golden age kicked off. All right. And again, God is doing it, but we're actively co-creators. We're actively getting involved with that. Okay? So, Geopolitical Christianity and Apex Humanity, we are opening up membership soon, very soon. If you are part of this, if you're part of this process, and you know it, you know it inside of yourself, make sure you do all the things that help to promote this message. I try and encourage people, like a lot of people say, I subbed, I subscribed, and I'm like, well, wait, watch other videos before you subscribe. I do not want losers subscribing to this channel. And if you feel like something I've said offends you so deeply that you just can't get over it, immediately unsubscribe, like right now, please. Because if I have 1,000 subscribers, but all of them are Apex humans, I'm good. Literally, for the rest of this channel, if I have 1,000 subscribers and I don't even want to be monetized, because I say a lot of things here that will get me demonetized. I know that. So a lot of these videos are going to end up on another platform. But so if you know that you're an Apex human, you're a geopolitical Christian, if you know that, membership will be offered soon. You're already that, okay? You don't need membership. You don't need to be part of an organization, but it does feel good to be a part of that. And it also is a way to fund this process. We're in a monetary society, and it helps to kind of get that stuff going. All right? And I'm going to be funding this thing anyway, so it's not a big deal. But, I like for people to buy in, right? And usually when you put your money on the table, you're invested. All right? So if you are aligned with this message, make sure you drop a like, sub, comment below, all that other stuff. It gets out to more people. For every 1,000 people that see this, 10 of them is probably going to be aligned with the message. Out of those 10, probably 5 of them are actually Apex humans. And that's what I'm looking for. All right. So we're going to begin this process of getting people in, getting memberships going. Make sure you go to apexhumanity.org. I want you to sign up for the email thing. And by the way, if you sign up for emails and stuff like that, you're not going to get an email. I'm just going to be straight with you because I don't chase people down for shit. I just don't fucking do that. You'll get like 5 emails from me probably for the rest of your life. So make sure you go up there and sign up for an email or something. Get on the email chain. And like I said, I mean, I don't know I think it's stupid. They say like email campaigns are the way to get people to buy your products and stuff like that. Okay, I don't give a fuck. Don't do it. I don't believe in subscriptions or email. I just don't believe in that shit. It's slavery. It's stupid. It's the devil. All right. And so sign up for the emails. In about a month, you might get an email from me. And membership for the Geopolitical Christian Church will be open soon. I want the Geopolitical Christian Church to kind of open up and get it going. It is elite. It is private. And do not apply if you identify as any of the following. We're at 43 minutes, so I don't know if anybody will get to the end of this video. Maybe I'll make a short out of this portion. All right, so do not apply if you identify as any of the following. If you identify as black, do not apply. Okay, we reserve the right to deny people based on identity. Now, we do not discriminate based on race, religion, identity, sexual orientation. We don't discriminate, but we do discriminate based on identity. There's no such thing as a black person, okay? If you identify as that, you do not have the intelligence to be a part of the Geopolitical Christian Church. Do not apply. All right, that's one. If you're a victim of any of the following, if you are a victim of these things, but you don't identify as a victim, you're welcome to be part of the church. You're probably going to be an exceptional member. But if you are a victim of domestic violence, SA, I won't say what SA is. If you identify as a victim of that, you know what SA is, so just go somewhere else. If you have experienced SA, that's different from identifying as a victim of SA. When you identify as a victim at all, if you identify as a victim of anything, do not apply. So unsubscribe and do not apply. Go somewhere else, okay? Go to a channel where they're going to cry with you because you had a pain in the past, all right? All right? If you identify as a victim of trauma, if you identify as a victim of the most abominable act, which we'll just call it MAPS, you know what that is, not the psychedelic version, but the other version that they tried to push during the woke years, the dark ages. All right. If you identify as a victim of drug abuse then don't apply. Just unsubscribe now. Go somewhere else. I mean, if you want to watch the videos and get encouragement and stop identifying that way, Stop identifying that way, then come back. There's going to be a very rigorous vetting system going to be put in place. Get help. All right, get the help that you need, get the therapy you need, whatever, and then come back once you no longer identify as a victim of that, of those things I mentioned. All right. The other people that should not apply are feminists, drug addicts, atheists. Let's just face it, if you're an atheist, you don't have the spiritual maturity to do this stuff, so don't apply. If you are a fundamentalist Christian or a moralist, like you think that all gays are going to go to hell, do not apply. Go somewhere else. We don't want you here. All right, fix that in your brain first, and then come back. If you're an activist of any kind, environmentalist activist, a human rights activist, a women's rights activist, a Black Lives Matter activist, an LGBTQAI plus ABCFG activist, do not apply. We don't want you here, okay? Because we reserve the right to not deal with people like that. All right? It's an organization, it's a private organization, and we can do that legally. Now, if you are a member of the AHW&x, the ABCFG, you're welcome to be a member of the Geopolitical Christian Church. Okay, if you are a person of Marian descent, meaning your ancestors come from equatorial regions, you're richly complected like myself, then you're welcome to apply. We actually want Marians in this organization. But if you identify as Black or African American or oppressed or something like that, because by necessity, African Americans and Blacks, by their very identity, are victims of racism, of oppression, and all that other stuff by their very identity. That's the definition of Blackness. That's the definition of being an African American. How did you get to America, African? I was brought here on a slave ship. Okay. Well, what's the difference between an African American and a Ghanaian American? A Ghanaian American came here legally, probably because he had a degree in computer science or was an MD doctor or something, came here and contributed to the American dream. African Americans were magically brought here on magical boats across a magical sea and were magically sold into slavery. It didn't exist. Didn't happen, people. All right, that's another false narrative. But anyway, if you belong to any of those identities, if you identify as any of those groups, do not apply, unsubscribe, go somewhere else. You're not wanted here. There are plenty of people that will welcome you and embrace you, but this is not for you. You're just going to come here and get triggered every single day. And I don't intend to hurt people constantly. I intend to talk to people and interact with people that are on the very apex level. So that's what I got to say about that. I know this was probably triggering for a lot of people, and I probably lost about 10 subscribers. That's good. I want to purify and clarify the community that I'm engaging with. So thank you for watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, commenting below. If you find this useful, make sure you drop a like. Otherwise, get the fuck out of here, because I don't want you watching this if you're not liking it. Have a good life.